I'm learning English.
Okay, so you worked in the morning and then you've been
Yeah.
learning English. Nice.
Yes.
Um, okay. Did you learn anything exciting in any of your English classes? Anything like any facts or anything like that?
I I try to improve on my English. Anything exciting?
Okay, so everything's exciting.
Yes.
All right, nice. Um, okay, and yeah, that's good. Heidi, what are you gonna do tomorrow? What are your plans for tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Actually, last week I started sewing, and I made my cardigan like light jacket like jersey. But I got bored suddenly. Then I left it in the only the put pin or something. And then I need to complete it.
Okay, um, nice. It's good. It's nice to be able to leave things for later. It's kind of like something that you have to do, which is kind of nice to have sometimes. Um, but cool. Rafa, welcome to class. How's it going, Rafa?
It's going pretty well, thank you.
Nice. Okay. And um, so, Rafa, what'd you do today?
Mm, Today is Wednesday, could be? Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday is my day off, and I have enough time to do different things, assisting to several classes at Berlin. Always is a pleasure if I can talk, because there are many classes that you can talk for less than a minute,
Really?
and this is horrible. Yeah, there are classes are plenty of people, and it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to talk, but well, always you learn something. And also, I was cooking for a while. I enjoy a lot cooking sometimes, and also reading some articles about my job about psychosis. Psychosis is a difficult agent to deal with it, and I was learning an article and reading an article about psychosis in English. An interesting guy. That's all.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Um, Reading an article about psychosis. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And one thing I'd say we attend classes. You said you assisted or
Assisting.
yeah, yeah.
No.
No, we'd attend classes.
Attend.
So
Attend.
assist is like to
Okay.
help with. Yeah. I know in
Assisting
Spanish it's
is?
like asistir.
Yeah, yeah.
Assist is
Attending.
helping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Attending.
a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Attending is better.
But yeah, a little bit. Let's get started with today's class.
Attending.
Let's go here. And Jose, can you read the title in the next lines?
Disappeared.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Heidi, can you read the title in the next few lines?
Crime and punishment. Today we will learn justice system vocabulary. Read a comic. Wow. Learn crime idioms. Discuss crime and punishment. Another book.
Yeah, good. Heidi's not the biggest fan of the comics. So, Rafa, the first question.
What? Heidi to me, or me to Heidi?
Heidi to you,
Who
Rafa.
need to read? Who need to ask to whom? Hello.
So,
I
Heidi, can you ask
okay,
Rafa?
I need
Yeah.
to ask. What crimes have you heard about recently in the news?
Yesterday I heard about one crime. I don't know, in Tanzania or in a country in Africa. with more than 140 people died in a school due to they were Christians. Uh, I don't, I don't, I don't hurt as much, but it was so horrible to see the pictures, the people at the school dying with a lot of blood, splitting on the floor. There were many students, children, and it was so horrible.
Yeah, that sounds really awful. Yeah, actually, I had heard about that. What I think it was in Kenya.
Kenya could be.
What's that? Yeah. But definitely a really bad one. All right, and Jose, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so yeah, Rafa, can you ask Jose the next question?
Jose, what makes some people become criminals? It is poverty, upbringing, lack of education, employment, and
I think that the most important thing that the people become criminals is the lack of education. Dedication is very important in the life. I think is the most important subject in the life. If you have a good education in the future, you will be more responsible. You you will find a you will find a better work,
You'll find a better job,
a better job.
or you could also say you will find better work
Yes, you will find
with no article.
better work.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I think the most important thing. Okay, maybe I think the most important factor in people becoming criminals
Is the
is.
lack of education.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
It's better.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe one more question. Heidi. Jose, can you ask Heidi that question?
Yes. What makes some people become criminals? Is it poverty, upbringing, lack of education, unemployment, or something else? The last question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you
No
think
worries.
graffiti is vandalism or art?
Vandalism. Simply vandalism. I hate it. For example, Paris, from airport to the downtown, I always take a train. Then I like looking the landscape from the window. But sometimes I find graffiti under the bridge or some walls. It's not good for the landscape. So I hate it.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Good answer. Good. Okay. And does anybody have any questions on this page? Okay, let's go to this next page. And let's have Rafa. Can you read the title and the words?
in the same slide.
Can you not see the news slide?
No, yeah, right now. Vocabulary: appeal, caution, fine, imprisonment, jury, offense, prosecution, sentence, verdict.
Okay. Can you repeat appeal?
Appeal,
Imprisonment?
imprisonment,
And jury.
jury.
Nice, well done. Okay, and does anybody have any questions about any of these words?
Appeal.
Okay. If there are no questions, let's have Jose. Can you make a sentence with prosecution and sentence?
Prosecution. Okay. The prosecution. The prosecution and sentence. Yes. The prosecution finally was a formal sentence. Or firm sentence.
Not quite. The prosecution. So the prosecution would be like a group of people trying to accuse somebody of something. Maybe first of all, can you repeat finally?
Finally.
Finally. Okay.
The prosecution at the end was a firm sentence or
was able to. Sorry, I sneezed. So the prosecution at the end was able to sentence the defendant to like 10-year sentence, or you could just say to 10 years
10 years. Okay.
in jail.
In jail.
Something like that. So
Okay.
they would have to, like, we'd use sentence as a verb.
Yes.
You could also say, like,
10 years in jail. Okay.
Able to, or maybe like we're awarded a 10-year sentence for the defendant, something like that. So that
Yes.
could be sentence as a noun, as a thing.
Yes.
Okay, so just a little bit different, but well done. Heidi, can you make a sentence with appeal and verdict?
Verdict. Even though criminal appeared, I'm not guilty. But jury returned the jury returned a verdict of guilty.
Maybe the jury returned. What did you say with the verdict of guilty?
Returned a verdict of guilty.
Maybe we could say with a guilty verdict.
Guilty verdict of guilty.
You said a verdict of guilt?
Mm-hmm.
That works too. Alright, it's a little bit hard to hear you. I know I was having trouble yesterday, but it still sounds like your microphone is a little bit low, or it like goes up and down.
Even though the criminal appeared that he wasn't guilty. the jury returned a verdict of guilty.
Turn a verdict of guilty. Yeah, I think it sounds better if you use with.
Mm-hmm.
And we might want to add something like, even though the criminal appeared the first ruling and claimed that he wasn't guilty, the jury returned with a verdict of guilty. I think that fills it out a little bit, but your sentence is good. Yeah, as far as like grammar, I think that could pass for sure. So nice job. Yeah, really well done, Heidi. And let's have one more, Rafa. Can you make offense and imprisonment?
My Uncle Jones made different offense against the law. He has a sentence to be convicted in jail for 2 months.
Okay. We want offense. How do we change offense here?
Different. Maybe different offenses. Offenses.
Huh? Yeah. And does anybody think they know a better verb instead of made? There's a verb that we usually go with offenses. Does anybody know that verb?
Commit.
Yeah. Committed. And yeah. And past tense?
Committed.
Yeah. Committed different offenses against the law. And he has a sentence. How did you end your sentence, Rafa?
To be in jail for 2 months.
Okay, yeah, so we didn't use imprisonment, but that's fine. Yeah, sentence to be, you could say imprisoned.
It's prison.
Imprisoned.
Imprisoned.
And that's like the verb of to imprison, or imprisonment, which is close, which could work, but really nicely done. Does anybody have any questions on this page?
If we use imprisonment, this fourth letter, word, 3 years imprisonment, no?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If we can use imprisonment, that case sentenced 3 years imprisonment, like that.
Yeah. 2, 3 year. Maybe we could say 3-year imprisonment.
3-year imprisonment.
Yeah.
3-year imprisonment. We don't need the hyphen year between year and imprisonment.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. No, I don't think so. So if you do with a number, it'd be like 3-year.
Yes,
But
because I learned if we don't have any hyphen, yes, but if they have hyphen there, no need to S.
okay, so possessive.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, a hyphen would be this. This is a hyphen. And 3 years. Yeah, so I think you actually would use the possessive there. Which is funny. It's not something that people would generally think of.
And another question: offense, not s, offenses. How different? I checked my dictionary. Yeah.
Sentences? Huh. And it might be just me spelling wrong. No. Okay. I think it depends on where you're from. So the spelling is like U.S., Canada, differences. Hold on. Where is it? So yeah, it just depends on where you are. It can be one or the other. It doesn't really matter. So I'm glad I didn't actually mess that up.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, does anybody have any other questions? Okay. And all right, let's go to the next page. Let's skip that for now. Okay, let's do some questions. And Heidi, can you ask Rafa the first question?
Do you think there will be more or less crime in the future? Why?
It's a difficult question. I should say that criminal issues are involved with poverty, at least in my opinion. And as much poverty we have, the more criminal issues we find out. And it's poverty, it's going better, it's getting better. It disappear in the next few years. In the next years, criminals' offense could decrease. I hope crime in the future decrease as much as possible.
Okay. Didn't hear what you said at the end there. If poverty is getting better, it will be apparent in the next few years that criminal activities
Will decrease.
maybe are decreasing. This is a tricky one, though. Poverty is getting better in the next few years. Yeah, I think that sounds better. Okay, and what was the last thing you said, Rafa?
That's all, I think.
Okay. Can you repeat that last thing one more time?
If poverty is getting better, it will be apparent in the next few years that criminal activities are decreasing.
Yeah. Good. And Ken, welcome to class. Ken, how's it going?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Nice to see you again, Ken.
Good to see you again.
Thanks. All right. And Rafa, can you ask Jose the next question?
Jose, do you think it is ever okay to break the law? When?
I think it isn't ever okay to break the law. The law are the law are thinking to accomplish. I think it will be intolerable breaking the law.
I wasn't quite able to hear you.
Intolerable.
You think it will be what?
The
Maybe can you type the word in the chat box?
Intolerable.
Intolerable.
Intolerable. Okay.
Intolerable.
Intolerable.
So
Intolerable. Intolerable.
tall,
Intolerable.
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 Full.
Breaking
So say it slowly.
the law.
Intolerable.
Intolerable.
Yeah. Intolerable.
Intolerable.
Mm-hmm.
It will be intolerable.
Okay, so
Breaking the law.
we wouldn't say it will be. I think it is.
It is
And then we'd use
intolerable
the infinitive.
to break the law.
Okay. And what did you say here? The law is what?
I think it is the break the law. The law is the law as has been thinking to accomplish.
Has been thinking to accomplish?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you want to say here. Is there another way you could?
You 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 s- you soul try to accomplish the law.
Okay. Yeah. So you should
The
try
law the
to.
law is mandatory.
Yeah. So the law is mandatory. The law is something that you should follow.
Yes.
Yeah. Something you should
You should
follow.
follow. Okay.
Yeah. Accomplish is more like for a goal. You accomplish goals,
Ah,
but you follow the
it's
law.
for accomplish is used for a goals. Okay.
Yeah. You want to do, achieve,
Okay.
something like that.
Achievements. Okay.
Okay. So you
Okay.
don't think it's ever okay to break the law? All right, good. Heidi, what about you? Do you agree or disagree?
Depend on the law.
Sorry?
Depends on the law. It's different.
Good.
Sometimes I break the law when I'm walking down the street. They are very small road across the main road. I'm walking on the sidewalk. Then, even though it's very small road, they put traffic light. Traffic light. Sometimes it's red, but when I cross that small narrow road, only 4 or 5 steps. So sometimes I break the law. It's okay. There are no cars around me.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Really good grammar. Yeah, so sometimes you jaywalk is what we'd call it. Jaywalk. Good. So even though there's a red light, you still cross the street. Good. I think small laws like that are okay to break. Things that are like unjust laws. So if, like in the United States in the 60s and 50s and 40s and 30s, like with segregation, those are unjust laws. I think unjust laws are good to break as well. So yeah, I think you're right, Heidi. It does depend on the law, at least in my opinion. All right, and Heidi, can you ask Ken the next question?
Do you think there's an effective way to deal with crime? Explain.
Maybe it's not so effective. Maybe in some content, the putting in the jail for the criminal to oppress some crime, but many people after that committed crime again. Maybe 40% of people after the jail committed
Ken,
crime.
sorry.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah, I can hear you. You've answered this question like twice now. What
Yeah,
about this? What about this question? Heidi, can you ask Ken this question up here?
What?
So the question all the way at the top. Can you see it?
Do you think there will be more or less crime? No. What?
Right here?
What question? Which punishment is more severe, the death penalty or life imprisonment?
I think death penalty is more severe than life imprisonment because kind of death is the most fearful thing for humans, and for example, some political prisoners like Nelson Mandela, he or Kim Dae-jung also, they were sentenced to death. No. I'm not sure about that. Nelson Mandela, yeah, past South American government, decided life imprisonment. But if he was sentenced to death, and he was killed, he couldn't get out of jail after that, and not became a president. So death penalty is the severest penalty for humans.
But he wouldn't have been able to.
I wouldn't have been
get out
able
of jail.
Yeah.
And I know you said South American. I think remember South African.
South Africa, yes.
Government. Okay, good. I think. Do you have something to say?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, nice, really good work. Okay, and maybe Rafa, what about you? What do you think about this question? So jail's an effective way to deal with crime or no?
The last one question, do you think jails?
Yeah.
Perhaps it's the only way. Right now we have to face criminal issues. But on the other hand, I think if we gain ground to find opportunities to live in other ways, to work in to find out good jobs, if we can give equal opportunities to everybody, imprisonment it wasn't be so necessary. Perhaps only with few bird brain people, bird brain without brain, psycho people. Only with them it could be interesting to maintain the jails. But I think if we develop tools, opportunities, jobs, richness, wealthy for everyone, imprisonment it's not so necessary, only for a few cases.
Okay.
Don't write everything, please.
Don't worry. Imprisonment won't be so necessary.
Yeah.
Maybe. So will not be so necessary. The pronunciation of live.
Okay.
If we find opportunities to live in other ways.
To find a way to live
And
in other ways.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. Yeah.
Um,
Really well done. So if you like, kind of change some social structures, yeah, maybe jail will be less prevalent or common. Okay. All right. And does anybody have any questions or comments on this page? Okay. Let's go here and make counting. Rafa, while I'm typing, can you ask Jose a question about crime?
questions?
Yeah, so any question.
Any question? What do you think, Jose, is the
Yes.
most interesting criminal, famous, popular criminal that you know?
Criminal, for example, Mario Conde. Do you know Mario Conde?
Yes, of course.
It was a banker. He stole a lot of. He stole an important amount of money.
Yeah.
He
How much money?
was. I didn't remember how much money, but an important quantity of money. He was at prison for 2 or 3 years. I didn't remember exactly.
He was in prison.
In prison. In prison
Uh-huh.
for 2 or
Yeah.
3 years.
Okay, and where was he from?
From Spain.
Okay, nice. All right, and let's have Heidi. Can you read the role of the first guy? So the top lines. And let's have Ken. Can you read the role of his partner?
Our assignment is to make our accounting system less transparent.
What?
We don't want investors to know what we are doing.
Are we bad people?
We are good people who have been influenced by a corrupt corporate culture. Corrupt corporate culture.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
Nice. Corporate, Heidi. Corporate.
Corporate.
Sort of. There's no O sound here, so it just sounds like corporate.
Corporate.
Close. You're still saying corp or it. Corporate. Corporate. Yeah, corporate. Close. There you go. Corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Good. One more time.
Corporate.
Better. Good. Okay. Ken, what's happening in this comic?
Kind of maybe this tall head guy, how can I say, try to justify their corporate crime. Probably.
Yeah, is trying maybe. Okay. Yeah, maybe he's trying to justify their crime. What are they doing though?
Maybe the less transparent accounting system means they can, how can I say, they can they can hide and can what they are want what they want to the
Okay.
shareholders or public.
Okay. Yeah, maybe a less transparent. Yeah. And why would they want to hide what they're doing to the shareholders, the public, Heidi?
Pardon?
So why would they want to hide what they're doing?
Share. What's it?
From the shareholders or the public?
Oh, yes, yes. Before it happened in Japan, Olympus is very famous. They hide their benefit for long years. And then finally, they needed to have the stockholders meeting. Then stockholders got angry because they didn't get any dividend for long years. It's kind of crime.
Okay, and so the stockholders got angry because they didn't get any dividends. Yeah. So if you make your accounting system less transparent, you can do things like hide dividends, not pay your investors. You could, make people invest more money when otherwise, if they knew what was really going on, that they shouldn't have invested money. Yeah. One thing, Heidi, Olympus hid their benefits for a long time. So hid in the past tense.
Yeah, hid benefit.
Okay. And Ken, can you ask Rafa the question here?
Okay. Do you think that corporate crimes are sufficiently punished for their crimes? Explain.
For sure, I think they are not sufficiently punished, because I think who makes the law makes the Trump. This is a quotation, at least in my language. Who makes the law makes the Trump. There are many corporate criminals that they are under the table, in the limit of the law. Perhaps also there are many criminal issues that are in the law, are according to the law. Nobody knows what happened, but if you go inside the criminal issue, you can find it's all in the law. As Heidi said before, with corporate criminal, with the investors, with the dividends, is under the law. Nobody can say anything about it. For this reason, many times corporate criminals are very well supported by the law, by different companies, by different business, and never find any criminal issue. But they are making a lot of offense. But that's all.
Nice. Really well done. The person who makes the law makes the trap. I think you're trying to say trampa.
Yeah.
Which would be trap. A tramp in English is a homeless person who wanders around. So yeah, a trap is something that kind of closes in on you.
A tramp is better, no?
A tramp?
Trampa?
Yeah,
Tramp?
so trampa is trap. And a tramp, like I said in the chat box, if you look over there, is just a homeless person who wanders around. So it's like a hobo or something like that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Tramp. So it's not the same word.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Many corporate criminals do things under the table, we could say. And we could say there are many criminal issues that are legal instead of saying that are under the law. Does that make sense?
Yeah, are legal.
Um, okay, good. So yeah. Oh, also this first sentence. You have, I think that they are not. We need to change this a little bit.
For sure, I think they are not without that.
Not quite. Sorry. Not, I think that they are not. Does anybody know what we need to change this to? Any ideas? Heidi? Jose? Ken? What do you guys think?
They shouldn't be.
I think.
Remember with think, how do we negate think?
I don't think so.
So I think close, not quite. So I think is positive, that they are not is negative. We need an auxiliary verb here.
They shouldn't be, no?
What auxiliary verb are we missing?
Can?
Pardon?
Can?
Can?
No, I don't, no?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't think they
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they're sufficiently punished. So whenever we're negating think, we use the auxiliary verb to do. So I do not think. So we would never say I think that they are not. That's wrong. I don't think that they are. This is negative to positive.
Or I think that they are not sufficiently punished. Two patterns.
No,
for this. No.
I don't think they're sufficiently punished. So yeah, we'd always start it off with the auxiliary verb do. So if we're
I mean,
negating think,
For example, if I say, I think that they are not sufficiently punished, it's not correct?
no.
I
No.
see.
So it's like I think I don't like it. We couldn't say that. I don't think I like it. It's correct.
Okay.
So the verb to do always comes before think if we're negating it, if we're saying no. Does that make sense? Okay. I hope that works for you guys. Any questions on this page? Okay. Let's do a little bit of reading. Jose, can you read the first part?
Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment operation where the operator, an individual organization, pays returns to its investor from new capital paid to the operator by new investors, rather than from profit earned by the operator. Operators of Ponzi schemes usually entice new investors by offering higher returns than other investments in the form of short-term returns that are either abnormally high or unusually consistent.
Nice. Okay. Scheme.
Scheme.
Scheme. Fraudulent. Fraudulent.
Fraudulent.
Fraudulent.
Fraudulent. Fraudulent.
Fra. Fra.
Fraudulent.
Yeah.
Fraudulent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fraudulent. Good. And operator.
Operator. Operator. Operator.
Good. Usually.
Usually. Usually.
Yeah, try usually. Usually.
Usually.
That's like a ja. Ja.
Usually. Usually.
Perfect.
Usually.
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 Very well done. Nice. Entice.
Entice.
Nice.
Entice.
Entice. And
Entice. Okay.
abnormally.
Abnormally. Abnormally. Abnormally.
Uh-huh. And then maybe unusually. Unusually.
Unusually. Unusually. Unusually.
Perfect. And let's have Heidi. Can you read the next part?
Okay. Ponzi schemes occasionally began as legitimate businesses until the business failed to achieve the returns expected. The business becomes a Ponzi scheme if it then continues under fraudulent terms. Whatever the initial situation, the perpetuation of the high returns requires an ever-increasing flow of money from new investors to sustain the scheme.
Nice. Did a really good job. A couple small things. Legitimate. Legitimate.
Legitimate.
And fraudulent. So it's got that j.
Fraudulent.
Yeah. Fraudulent. And sustain.
Sustain.
Good. Okay, well done. And does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. And Ken, can you read the next part?
Okay, the scheme is named after Charles Ponzi, who became notorious for using the technique in 1920. The idea present in novels, for example, Charles Dickens' 1844 novel, Martin Chuzzlewit, and 1857 novel Little Dorrit, each described such a scheme, was actually performed in real life by Ponzi, who with his operation took in so much money that it was the first to become known throughout the United States. Ponzi's original scheme was based on the arbitrage of international reply coupons for postage stamps. However, he soon devoted investors' money to make payments to earlier investors and himself.
Nice, well done. Let's look at earlier. Earlier?
Earlier?
Yeah, earlier.
Earlier.
Coupons.
Coupons.
Arbitrage.
Arbitrage. Arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
Yeah, something like that. Arbitrage. And if you look in the chat box, we can learn about the negation of think, believe, suppose, hope, and things like that. So they were called mental process verbs. And so that'll kind of explain how you negate them. So we were talking about that, yeah, before, and this should clear it up a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Anyways, we are just out of time. Arbitrage is if you sell something that you buy in another market. So when you buy Brazilian money and sell it in the United States, or buy U.S. money, the U.S. dollar, probably a little bit more profitable, and sell it in Brazil, is just arbitrage. So using exchange rates. And we are out of time. Hopefully you guys are good. I've got another class right after this if you want to come in. It was nice talking with you guys all.
Okay.
Yeah, nice to have small classes.
Take care.
See you all again. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.